Welcome back to Chronicles of a New Black Woman. Today's chronicle is chronicle number 4, entitled Wake Up. I would like to start off with an analogy. If someone is an art collector or a music or wine connoisseur, each person in their field of expertise will have similarities and discrepancies. An art dealer or art collector, while all of them may know their stuff, they may share a difference of opinion when it comes to who the best artist is or what the best style of art is. Wine connoisseurs may have a difference of opinion in which wine tastes the best and what the palate prefers. Three different people in the culture of hip hop who know the industry will give you their top 5 lyricists, and everybody's top 5 list will probably look different, starting with number 1. This is the best way for me to tell you how I feel about the metaphysical, channeling, and awakened community. I do listen to a lot of others who say they have similar communication and knowledge as I do, and our notes don't always look the same. That's not to say there is not truth to the information that they are receiving, and that there is not truth to the information that I am receiving. Just like in my previous genre comparisons, each field has a foundational platform that they'll all agree on or that they'll all pull from. Well, that includes this awakened community. There's a foundational platform that majority of the channelers or people who say they receive downloads has, right? That foundation. But then after that, there are different processes and experiences, and sometimes even different levels of skill or expertise that come into play, along with opinion, no matter how objective we try to be, right? To tell you a little bit about where my information comes from, about a year ago, I received an integration with one being after taking a Reiki class for healing and receiving my attunement. Since then, several beings have come through that I have had communication with. I feel that as my vibration is raised, a different being comes through to assist me in the next stage of my evolution or enlightenment. It doesn't take meditation, it doesn't take breath work, and it doesn't take preparation. I am not a channeler. They have asked that I call it integration. And when I say they, I mean the beings that I communicate with have asked that I call it integration. I do not lose my consciousness or move my ego to the side for another consciousness to come through. They communicate through me using thought, pictures, and body language. Oh, they also use stages of sleep. I most often feel that I am more awake while I am asleep and my eyes are closed than when my eyes are open. In 30 years, I have never been able to meditate with clearing my mind and not having thoughts. I don't even understand how to do that. Whenever I have meditated in the past, I would just end up receiving mental pictures, moving scenes, or thought communication. So, this integration, I'm still working on clarification of the communication. Most of it is sort of like sign language or charades. They don't make it easy for me by speaking in human language, and I'm not even so sure that they can, being that they are higher beings and language is a lower vibrational means of communication for them. My relationship with beings started off as just yes or no Q&A, and I compare that to being more like when a baby is learning for the first time that verbal language exists. So I feel like now I have been promoted to primary school when it comes to learning the signs and body language communication. So while I have progressed, I still have a long way to go. A huge part of why I wanted to finally start speaking out is that number one, I know that there are others going through their awakening and they have no one to really explain to them what may be happening to them. Number two, I've gotten so frustrated by the stupidity and ignorance that surrounds my everyday waking life. And number three, I feel like, as always, Black people seem to be getting left out of the equation. I will add a number 4 because no one that I have been able to listen to really, I don't know if they just don't have small children or minor children, or did when they were going through their awakening process. And so I feel like I don't have anyone to relate to on that level and from that aspect of raising children. Um, so I do want to offer that as well. Now, as this information is not solely for Black people, it's also not solely for those in India, China, Japan, or the South Americas. And it is not solely for white people either, as I have felt that some beings have, without vocalizing it, will have indirectly portrayed it to be a quote unquote white thing. If you ever truly have an awakening, you will get past the racism aspect of being human, because you will then understand that racism was created to keep humans in a low vibration. It is a part of keeping humans of all races distracted. But there are layers to everything, right? Humans are multidimensional beings, so you must think while using your broader insight. For many years, I've listened to many people and I have read several books. For example, Abraham Hicks, Cryon, Seth, Alan Watts, Greg Braden, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Ernest Holmes, Dolores Cannon, Barbara Marciniak, and I dare not forget to mention David Icke, who I appreciate his bravery and courage for helping to clear a path for my generation and the next. I would also like to mention Dr. Stephen Greer, who speaks out about disclosure and has worked with those in the government. I would love to be present for one of his fifth encounter sessions where he has a small group of people who meet at particular locations to make physical connection with non-terrestrial beings. After many years of engulfing myself into this world that I knew I was a part of, it dawned on me that none of these people look like me. None of these people were Black, and none of them captured the Black audience. I couldn't help but to think that my people need this information too. And WTF, does racism even cross over into the cosmic realm of multidimensional reality as well? That answer for me right now is yes and no. And just remember that I did say that there are layers to everything. I watched the movie Superhuman, The Invisible Made Visible by Caroline Corey. After I watched it, I thought I would love for my children to be able to participate in that type of education, because for me, it's all a part of the teachings of the truth and the real knowledge, right? Then I quickly realized that, wait, not one of the adults or children in the movie are Black. Does this mean that they're telling me that Black people aren't welcome to this knowledge? Does it mean that Black people are left out intentionally? Does it mean that, to no fault of their own, the people that I'm paying attention to and receiving this information from just didn't branch out and broaden their net, and they only included those participants who live in their own environmental bubble, which means that they just don't know any or associate with any Black people, and which in and of itself is not a crime, and I pass no judgment from that aspect? Or does it mean that most of the Black race is in such a low vibration and stuck in their fear and separation of their true identity that they don't want to receive the information? I've even attended an Abraham Hicks seminar, and it was amazing. It was during one of their 2-day seminars, and I met some very interesting people. My whole time there, my vibration was higher than it had ever been or I felt it to be. There were people from other countries and cultures. There were mystics, psychic mediums, tarot readers. Everyone I mingled with was very nice, and I felt good energy. Side note, I did experience a presence in my hotel room on the second night that I was there. Anyhow, I couldn't help but to notice that there were only 5 Black people out of the hundreds of people who were there in attendance. In my most recent years, I've argued, I've yelled, and I've even cursed at these beings for the unfairness and the fact that they seem to allow the continuation of cruel and biased, one sided discrimination and racism, even on the path of enlightenment. Does Black humankind not even get the option to choose the red pill or the blue pill? That is not free will for my people. And that was pretty much the basis of my continued argument with them. So I suppose they got tired of hearing my passionate rants, and I have been given a task. And that task is to assist with bringing certain information to the forefront for Black people. Let me say again, this is not to convince anyone who does not wish to seek enlightenment or does not wish to raise their vibration. The information that you will be given is for those who need to know that they are not alone in what they've been feeling concerning who they are, where they come from, and whether they fit in here on this planet. This information is to come in on this channel for those who are seeking their purpose and their truth. Although I am placing emphasis on making sure that Black humanity receives this, unlike others, I want to make sure that all human beings from all corners of the earth understand that they are welcome to receive knowledge. The knowledge is for all people who are seeking the truth, because all those who are seeking the truth are my people. You are my tribe. Who this is not for the religious. This is not for those who will call this evil and the work of the devil. And if that is how you feel, I don't care, because that would mean this is obviously not for you and we are not on the same frequency or vibration. The naysayers can call this the work of Satan. They can call it blasphemy. They can call me fake. I will be whatever you want me to be in your world, but what I will not do is allow that low vibrational judgment to interfere with mine. Those people can continue popping their blue pills every morning. And with that said, I gave you a great list earlier in this piece about who you can listen to. And if you were a reader, many of them, those people on the list, are authors and have written materials as well. The suggestions I've made are to help you start getting the information you need. And also, it's good to point you in the right direction for things you can start doing to raise your vibration, which can assist you in your journey toward enlightenment. I would also like to suggest Gaia TV. That's GAIA TV, which may help you tremendously as well. Or when reading some of the materials, some may get lost in the message because the verbiage is not plain. I feel that to be an effective teacher or messenger is not saying that you must prove yourself to be a scholar, especially when you're trying to reach the masses. Infinite Waters with Ralph Smart is on YouTube. He is someone who seems to be quite consistent with his message. He's very plain in his message and very plain in his verbiage, which makes him very easy to follow. Again, just like music or wine connoisseurs, art collectors, and dealers, as well as experts in the medical community, not everyone in this field of integration, metaphysics, or cosmic information and downloads is going to be exact in our truth. But much of the information shared seems to be quite foundational. And for those who are seeking, you will need to go within to see who and what resonates with you. Use your own judgment when tuning your inner intuitive compass. Some people who are spreading the message will give you a cookie cutter way to raise your vibration or find your way to the truth. Those methods may work for some, but for those who cookie cutter is not working for, I'm here to tell you not to let that discourage you, because your journey is customized to and for you. What I discovered is that everything is not meant to be told to you, but it is for you to experience. Therefore, some of the answers you will only find from within. I know that may suck to hear, but take it from me, because as I told you, For the past 3 decades, I had no teacher and no mentor to guide me. I had no choice but to get to know thyself. My quest has not been easy, and I have had to make tough choices what feels like every step of the way. Starting this channel was even a tough choice because I'm usually a very private person. I am still in a very vulnerable place when it comes to my awakening, but at the same time, wonderful things continue to happen also. Once you've chosen to take the red pill, I don't know that you can unknow what you then know or unexperience what you begin to experience. So be careful what you ask for, because an awakening is not for the weak and it is not for the faint of heart. As I have previously stated, cosmic knowledge is for everyone, but because we are so far behind, I need to speak this breath into my Black people. Wake up and hear the message. Black people, wake up and see the signs. Black people, if you do not wake up, you will continue to be left behind. There will come a time when you don't have to go home, but you're going to have to get the fuck up out of here. Until next time, love and light to my truth-seeking tribe. I am Dar-Luz, reminding you that the universe begins with you and I.